right there.
Adam, he called you sir.
Should I correct that, Jody? Okay, thank you. As was indicated by Larry and also in the Secretary's report, each meeting we pass the basket, and that's what helps to pay for the electric, for the cooling, and we sure don't need the heating. We don't have the heating. I did turn the cooler down, Peggy, back there, because when you get this many people, it does require a little more cooling, so that should kick in here. And if I see any of you doing this, that's an indication that we need to take another look at the thermostat. So I'll start the basket, and again, what this goes for is helps to pay the maintenance, the operation for the museum. In the minutes, it was mentioned about the suggestion box. This is it, and it's kept outside the lobby. And we encourage your suggestions on how we can improve the museum. And the only bad suggestion is the one that you don't put into the box. So I think we'll put it over here and then we'll move it out there. There is paper and pencil. And in addition to that, I would just say that feel free to talk to any of us as members of the Board of Trustees. And it occurs to me that some of you may not know who the board is. Peggy Mershon is on the board as curator and a member of the board. Jim Leifer is on the board. We met Larry. Larry is carrying two hats this year, wearing two hats, carrying them some, I guess, as treasurer and then also as second vice president. Del Malott as vice president. Bob Wixon, back, hold up your hand, is on the board. Glenna is on the board as secretary. Have I missed anyone?
Yourself.
And I guess, myself. So there are 7 members on the board, and we again welcome your input, your suggestions on how we can make the museum even better each year. I'm not going to call on the board members because of a very exciting schedule here this evening, but I might just mention a few things that are coming up. First, on the bricks, as mentioned in the minutes, August 1 is the deadline to order a brick. Outside in the lobby is the application or the place where you fill out. You can have 3 lines. It can be your name, a spouse, a relative, a teacher, someone living, someone not living. So this is our 3rd year. We had not planned to do it the 3rd year. We had stopped it last year, but due to requests, we did decide to offer it again. So if you do have an interest, as mentioned by the secretary, it's out here in the walkway. We have 100 and probably close to 150 engraved bricks of the person's choosing. And it's a great way to have your name or someone in your family or whoever you choose kind of embedded into the Historical Society forever. And so we encourage that, but we're right down to the wire. So if you don't do it this evening, you have a couple, 3 more days on that. At our October meeting, coming up here in a couple months, is when we have a recognition program, and all those that have given to the museum during from October 1 last year up through September 30 this year, your name will be in the annual report. And if you would like a copy of the report, you can see the different categories. And again, outside the door, there are copies there. That's all I'm going to say about funding, but this is timely, and I wanted to make sure that you were aware of it. 2 or 3 other kinds of things that are happening as far as the board. We have an individual that has offered some land to the Historical Society. We're checking out the deed to see whether or not that's something that we want to accept. And oftentimes you say, well, we just automatically accept gifts, but on other occasions, we want to make sure that that's what we want. So we're in the process of checking that out. We talked about the bricks. Due to the generosity of the Three C's church here, did I say that right? Three Crosses. The Three C's, Three Crosses Church here in Butler. They have donated a chairlift, in fact 2 chairlifts. So we have been in touch with a firm in Mansfield to see whether they can be installed in our stairway, and if they can be, then it'll only be the cost of the installation, and if there is a permit, Dale indicates that he can work that out as far as maybe not having to deal with the cost for a permit. So that's underway or being explored. We are in the process of sealing the cabin that some of you are aware of that's down on the other side of the restaurant. And you know, whether it's this building or other facilities, it takes maintenance. And so that's being on the timetable to do here in the next couple of weeks. After the meeting this evening, we'll open the museum here and upstairs for any that would like to see what's here, and would suggest that you eat first or see and then come back and eat afterwards and not really take food in the museum. Work day, August 8th in the PM. The board is going to be working on several projects. I would just say that that's open for any of you that would like to help. Peggy has a list, and the board has a list along with Peggy, so we have a number of things that some may take 10 minutes, some a little bit longer, so we welcome you to help in that regard. Any questions to me or any member of the board at this time, or suggestions from the floor? Either you're happy, you're tired of me talking, or you're satisfied with where things are. So assuming things are all neutral or positive, we're going to move to the next part of the program, and I'm going to ask Peggy Moshan, our curator, for any comments that she has, and also to introduce our exciting program for this evening. Peggy?
Thank you all for coming. We thought we might have a full house, but this is delightful. Thank you. And I hope if you don't know your neighbor, you will be for the meeting. So the agenda for the program is essentially, I'm going to give a brief introduction on why we're here with the books, and then we have Scott Schott, who is the director of the Mansfield Memorial Museum, who the Walsh family very generously shared their cache of film that Bob was involved in producing. And he'll describe a little bit about the importance of film to history and show a couple of the films that Bob helped produce. And then we'll have a couple of people you all know, Pat Walsh Roberts and Joni Walsh, will be telling you about some of this stuff, because some things maybe are not quite obvious about why they're here, but and some of their memories too, and I'm sure they'll welcome input from the audience and do some introductions, because she probably knows quite a few of you, doesn't she? Don't they? And then, as I said, this whole thing will take about an hour, and then we'll have refreshments, and you can talk to each other. You know, if you didn't get a chance to share your information with them, you can do after that. And I guess we'll have the museum open. The museum also will be open on the first Sunday of the month, as it is every Sunday of the month, and from 1 to 4, and so I think that's the 4th. Is it 4th?
Every Sunday?
The first Sunday.
First Sunday of the month, 1 to 4.
Right, right. And the reason why this book came to be is that Joni was helping, not exactly helping me, we were helping each other put up a display upstairs, which if you go upstairs you'll see, about Danny's Arrowhead and Indian artifact collection. And she just happened to mention that Bob was a writer, amongst many other things. And I said, gee, I'd like to see that. You know, I'd like to be being a writer myself. You know, and so she allowed me to see it and scan it. And it kept coming back to me. That would make a good book. This guy's a good writer. It's delightful stories. And it's essentially divided. He used to go out in the barn and he used to take his portable typewriter, so I hear, and type up stories. And we kind of divided them into sections. One is his family story, the things that he heard from members of his family, a lot from his grandfather, Beekman. And then we told some stories about him being a wild kid in Mansfield. And then he, during the 20s, and then during the 30s, he just calmed down and took off with the Daredevils, the auto Daredevils. He got married there someplace along the way and had a couple kids. Yeah, and so we have quite a few of his stories and pictures. The family was very generous in allowing us to use the pictures in the book from their archives. And then we had a section on him working for Louis Bromfield, which was because it was a unique employer. Let me put it that way. So he had some great stories there. Yes, and we also, when he bought the farm out here, it was a corner of Teeter and Possum Run, right? Right. Okay.
Beautiful piece of ground there.
Not being a farmer, he ran into some things that he wasn't expecting, but with his wonderful curiosity and intelligence, and he had some great stories about that. And then we just threw in there at the end some miscellaneous things, because he's one of these guys, and I never met the man, but after I got finished with this, I think I know him a little bit anyway. He was just interested in a lot of different things, so we had some miscellaneous ones in there. So we decided to make a book so everybody could see it. And we couldn't put it online because Joni doesn't have a computer. So we decided to do a book. And come up and take a look at it later, because we'll have it on sale. They're $10 a piece. And I think Larry is playing cashier. He'll be up here with the books, and you can buy them then. If there's 3 or 4 lines, we'll have to get them. But now, amongst his talents, was he took pictures. But he also did film. He did film for Westinghouse. He did film, and his how he got into being employed on the Daredevil circuit was that he took some darn good pictures of their shows, and they were impressed. And that's amongst the film that Scott brought along. And he's going to talk just a little bit about why, if you've got film, even if it smells funny, and you know how that can be, you shouldn't throw it away, because it is history. And there's nothing that immerses you in history so much as watching things from 50s, 40s, 30s come alive again on the screen. It's a great experience, and we hope you'll enjoy it tonight. Scott, you want to?
One of the things that, as an archivist and a historian, most people don't think of is you always think of photographs. You think of, but you can't hear me with my big mouth.
No.
Right.
Get on
One of the things that is important as an archivist and a historian is that most people look at photographs. You can see tintypes, the early glass photographs and everything else, but they're stills. And one of the things that I'm grateful for Bob Walsh is that he not only did films, but he also did recordings. And because of the recordings that he does, I have